Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 121. It's Iliya here, and as always I'm super grateful to have you on my channel. And as you probably know, in this video we're gonna have a look at the market, how it developed this week, what opportunities did we have, and what we can potentially expect for the upcoming week. So this week actually we had some great opportunities, but I haven't taken a single trade this week. Early in the week I had some really important projects and stuff to do. Then on Wednesday and Thursday I got sick, so I wasn't at the charts, and then on Friday I was actually feeling better, but it was already Friday and I couldn't spot a lot of great opportunities, so I just let go of this week. And yeah, I was working also on another very important project, which is the bootcamp that we're just gonna start hosting right now in around an hour and a half. So I'm quite excited about it. The community also is really excited, so of course make sure that you consider joining the community. I am going to be giving away some membership soon, because I promised to do that 40k subscribers and we have increased quite a lot, so really thank you for that, all of you that are watching, and definitely I'm soon going to start give back to you, right? If you are new to this channel, you know that it's all about trading. I share this weekly outlook and setups every Saturday, and once per week I give my best to share an educational piece of content or a trade setups breakdown video. So make sure you are subscribed, turn on the notification bell in order not to miss the updates. And before we start, I want to mention that I trade cryptos, which are exploding right now, and I do it with Forex.com. It is an amazing broker that has an amazing initiative, because if you pick their eco account, every single lot size, every single lot that you trade goes towards planting 10 trees. So they take a little commission, but it goes to a great cause, and I'm pretty happy to actually hear this. And yeah, make sure to support them. Link will be down in the description. And if you already checked them out, let's get straight into the video. All right, as always, let's start with our best friend, the Dixie. Let's have a look how the dollar performed this week and what we can potentially expect into the upcoming week. So again, if you remember, we are in a perfect uptrend. I'm not going to repeat myself every single week about that bullish shift of market structure, about those higher lows being maintained right there, a creation of a beautiful higher high right there. And of course, right now, what we should expect in terms of the weekly time frame is a pullback. Okay, and as you can see right now, we have been forming this high. We kind of wicked right there this week, then we had an indecision, and right now this candle took this high right there, and as you can see how it immediately withdrew to the downside. So this is a really good signal. We took kind of the stop losses above those levels, and I do think potentially right now we can start retracing. Okay, so what I always do is I always drop my range from the low to the high, and I would usually expect at least a 50% pullback. So let's drop to the daily to see how does that look like right here. So yeah, as you can see, since the market opened, we were kind of stuck in the middle right there. I do think I was looking for a slight pullback to the downside, but then as you can see, the market opened up, had a bullish day, then the next one pulled back, took out this high, and then the next one actually, when it opened, we just massively blew to the downside with a big bearish engulfing candle. So that is really nice to see on the daily, because if you really zoom in, which we're gonna see on the 4-hourly as well, we had a push, a pullback that created a higher low, and then this one was actually a higher high, because it also broke this structure right there. There is a body close above, and it also broke this structure. Okay, so this makes this little guy right there a major higher low. And as you can see right now, we haven't closed with a body below, but we're definitely wicking through it. And if I transfer this onto the 4-hourly time frame, we can see that it's already a break. So the 4-hourly time frame actually looks pretty good. Yeah, we had this sharp spike into the highs. There was also this higher low formation, and it was just broken massively to the downside. Okay, so I see a lot of bearishness coming on the DXY, and I do think we are about to drop a little bit, because if you remember, the last area that the market was finding demand from was this one. We pushed into the highs, and then since then we have been kind of creating structure away from it, but right now we're tapping again into this kind of supportive level, which does not have a lot of orders inside it already. So I do think we're actually gonna break through it and potentially travel towards this 50% area, which is around 93,400 is where I would like to see the price, and maybe a little bit lower. Like on the daily, we can either come and test this big zone, or if this doesn't hold, then we're gonna go and test those extreme levels down there. Okay, so then taking all of this information into consideration and dropping onto the 4-hourly time frame, and yeah, I just wanted to delete everything, but I have too much going on. Then we have to find our range, of course, if we have a break of structure. If you look into the details, have a look at this candle right there. It has a big wick to the upside. What does that mean on the lower time frame? I'm gonna ask you. Well, it means that when the market actually topped right there, it had a big pullback and then we just massively dropped to the downside. How are you gonna see this? By dropping on the hourly. So the market was basically finding demand from here, tapped inside, reacted from it, and then it just massively plummeted to the downside. Okay, and it also retested that little range right there. So basically for me, my range will start from here, from this wick. You can even take it from the high. It's not a big deal and it will not make a big difference, but I'm gonna take it from the high to the low, and as you can see, 50% is right there. Where I would really love to see the price come is inside actually this wick right there. So what I always do is I take 50% of those wicks, because again, if I drop to the hourly, you're gonna see that there is this buy to sell candle. Okay, and this is really strong. And basically what my plan is to wait for that pullback. Hopefully we're gonna have a pullback above the 50% of this range, maybe tap inside into this candle, or maybe come into this range to fill that wick, and then to potentially see the market retrace on the daily to the downside. Okay, so let me know if you agree with a bearish DXY in the upcoming week. This is my analysis so far. I'm starting to see bearish sentiment. I have a daily break of structure, I have a full hourly shift of structure, I have a manipulation above the high right there, and I do think that we can potentially see some sellers. So let's see how that's gonna go. Euro USD weekly time frame, let's have a look. So again, beautiful downtrend to the downside. We had this lower high that was respected, just faked by 3 pipettes. Then we had a massive breakdown of structure right here. So basically on the weekly time frame, we're bearish, which perfectly resonates with the DXY. Eventually where I want to see this market go is right here. But again, is it supposed to go there? Not really. Basically our range, yeah, the range is a little bit tricky because the range should be taken on the monthly, and even the monthly is not correct because we had a push, a pullback, and then a push, a pullback, push, and right now we're actually breaking lower. So I'm not gonna drop a range like this, which is basically what I really want to do. And as you can see, 50% is right there, and just below 50% we have that level. So for me, this is my greatest buy area. But of course, let's focus on the now. Okay, let's see what is happening right now. The market is bearish and it has made a beautiful weekly leg. So let's take our swing like this from the low to the high. Let's drop to the daily to see what's up. Basically quite the same as the DXY. We have this big bullish candle also on the DXY, and right now we're having it right here as well, which is basically supply, and it's exactly in the 50%. Okay, so this is eventually where I would start looking for sells. What I do not really love about EU is that on the daily, it still kind of looks like it's creating lower highs. We had a push. This was the only pullback that we got. We had another push to the downside, broke structure, a little pullback. Then we had another break of structure, which is not really a break, but it's still faked. And right now the question is, can we consider this one as a break of structure? Well, I do think so, because if we go on the 4-hourly time frame, we can clearly see the shifts. And I'm gonna tell you a great detail right there that happened. That happened this week. Basically what we had is a downtrend, beautiful downtrend. The only trade that actually looked good this week was Monday. I really liked the shorts on Monday. Then Tuesday wasn't that clear. Then we had one day that the market just exploded to the upside. And yeah, there were some opportunities, but nothing really good. So basically what happened is the market formed this supply. Why is this a strong supply? Because it also broke structure and massively impulsed to the downside. We pulled back for a lower high. And what we expect after a lower high, of course, you know, a lower low. But what happened? We reacted from it, and then we massively impulsed to the upside, just breaking through all the structures that were on the left. Okay, and we went all the way up to respond from like an extreme level right there. But right now, knowing that the market is changing from the downside, this is really important to me, because knowing also where it is on the weekly at the lows, the 4-hourly is right now changing. So I am ready to consider longs on EU, which basically resonates with shorts on the DXY. As we just said, if we have that pullback. So what do we need right here is a pullback. Look at where the move started. It started from this big candle, like it's really big, but I'm gonna take it as it is, like this. And then of course my leg starts from here and it ends there. And as you can see, we still haven't pulled back towards the 50%, which is really good, because again, just a simple 4-hourly analysis, guys, I would be looking for the market to pull back, tap inside this area, shift, and then potentially I'm gonna be taking it higher. So this is my plan, to potentially take it higher right there. Of course, I always advise that you ask, okay, where is my short? Okay, what if shorts happen? Well, of course, you can take shorts right now because the market is above the 50%. And there were some shorts to be taken yesterday as well, but yeah, as you can see, it's overall choppy, right? We had really bad price action right there. There was a beautiful short right there. I think 11th was actually Monday. Another short and another short right there, I think. But yeah, basically, as I said, I'm looking for the market to pull back inside these levels right there. And as soon as it taps below the 50%, I'm gonna start looking for longs. Okay, so this is my plan. Keep in mind that there were also some levels on the 15 minutes. Like we have that little range that is just below the 50%. We have this little range right there. So again, you can even enlarge the zone to account for those, but that's gonna get too big. And it's basically, if the market drops below the 50%, you just look to buy. Okay, so this is my plan. I am really looking forward to see some better correlations, some better flowing markets, because EU has been really tricky to trade nowadays. So let's hope that the DXY give us that pullback to create a lower high. Let's hope that EU is going to give us a pullback to create a higher low, and then potentially we're going to see some nice price action and some potential uptrend on EU. Okay, so that's it, guys. Make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis to see how it's playing out so far and if we can actually catch a trade like that. Well, what can I say about Euro JPY? It is just exploding to the upside. So we can do nothing at this period of time. I do think right now kind of trend traders, aggressive trend traders and breakout traders are gonna be making a lot of money, because we're basically just massively pumping into the upside without a stop. As you can see on the daily time frame, like this week opened on the 11th. So from the 8th, from Friday, Monday just opens, break structure. Tuesday slows down. Wednesday up, Thursday up, Friday up. So basically, if you just set buy stops above the previous daily highs, you're making money. Okay, but it was really nice to see how the market basically developed right there, created this higher low, and right now we're massively expanding to the upside. So at this period, usually the market is gonna go and create a new higher high. But before the creation of that higher high, we should have a little bit of a pullback, shouldn't we? And basically, if I just look at the daily range, I think that is going to be too much of a bigger pullback to expect. So I'm going to mostly focus on the 4-hourly. But even if you have a look on the 4-hourly, like, look at that. It is just a straight line. This is not nice. You basically are given no opportunities to enter. Of course, if you drop to the hourly time frame, you can of course see those pullbacks, like break of structure, pullback, break of structure right there, pullback right here, another break, another pullback, push, consolidation. And basically you can try to catch those continuation trades. But yeah, right now in terms of the hard time frames, I would look for a bigger pullback. Okay, and I don't trade this pair. Sometimes I regret not trading it, but even if I did, it doesn't resonate perfectly with my rules. Okay, because usually, you know, I wait for pullbacks, and if I don't get a pullback and if the market just continues to push like this, then I just don't get any trades. Okay, so I have nothing much to say about EJ. What I would love to see is to see some sort of a pullback. I can also focus on the 4-hourly and say, okay, so we had a push, the market pulled back, consolidated right there, and then we initiated another massive move into the highs. So I can also consider this little range, okay? So maybe we can also try to buy it from here, which basically stays into the 50% like this, and then to potentially continue higher. Euro USD is starting to look a little bit more bullish as well. So let's see how this is gonna go, but eventually I would expect this one to get taken out right or this high, because simply what are we having is an uptrend. Like, I'm not sure where this leg started, maybe from here, push, pull back, and we should be expecting a higher high. Okay, so that is EJ. Let me know how you're gonna trade this one. Let me know if any of you is capitalizing on those JPY pushes. Personally, I haven't. It is really nice to see Aussie USD playing out as expected. Again, this was a great setup, and actually it would have been an amazing swing. So sometimes I am just seeing those hard time frame opportunities from the daily, from the weekly, and then I try to get it on the lower time frames, and sometimes you're gonna get stopped out maybe twice before you actually get the right trade. But what we could have simply done is just trust that the market is going to reverse from this weekly level. Then we had a daily opportunity right there. And right now, as you can see, like, we had this weekly break, beautiful pullback, and potentially right now, I do believe AU should be going for this high on the weekly. Dropping onto the daily, again, as you can see, after this sharp move to the downside, we have been trending up. And this week we opened right here, bullish candle, then we had an indecision, then we had a pullback, bullish candle, bullish, bullish. So we were 5 days in a row bullish candles on AU, which is absolutely amazing. Okay, so again, shall we have a pullback? Well, Probably, but right now the market is heading with great steam towards this high. So let's see what kind of a pullback are we gonna have. Basically, I was waiting for bigger pullbacks on this one, but it just keeps going. Okay, so it tapped right there. Then of course the next area was right there. It didn't really tap. Then we just had this consolidation. Then we had this big sell-off, and then we had this big buy. And then since then we have been also trending to the upside. So for me right now, my major level is I really like this sell, because this is basically a bearish engulfing candle to trap all the sellers right there. Everybody's selling, and then we just boom, exploded to the upside. So just looking at this, it really makes sense that there were a lot of stop losses right there. It also broke the structure, so breakout traders were there. So for me, this level is really good to trade from. Okay, what I do next is I drop my FIP. 50% is right there. This level is perfectly below the 50%. And also we can look on the left. So basically for me, this one right there is a really strong supply. And as you can see, we're currently tapping inside. So basically what we can have right now is the market again tapping to supply, give us the pullback, and then potentially to continue higher. So this is how I'm going to approach AU. It's an amazingly trending market right now. So don't miss out on this. My community trades a lot of AU. They're literally crushing it 24/7, this pair, because this one moves in all the sessions. Asia, London, and New York. It doesn't stop. All right, so basically yes, we can also expect a slight reaction from here, because you can see like we have the same level right there, but just on the hourly. So I'm going to be mindful of this one, as it's exactly in the 50%, but basically my bias is longs on AU, and potentially I'm going to be looking for longs from either of those two levels. Another scenario that we can have is maybe we can tap again into this level, and then if I see a clear shift maybe on the hourly, I can start looking for shorts into those levels. Then our range is going to become something like this. And of course, we can also buy from this level right there. So let's see, there are those kind of three scenarios. So let's not forecast too much. And as I always say, let's just flow with the market, right? AJ, again, what can I say about this one? It's just massively pumping into the highs, rocketing for new all-time highs. It's not all-time highs, but what is this high? Is it a yearly high? Yeah, probably yearly highs. And yeah, it's just imposing. 4-hourly time frame, there is a higher low right there, and then just since then we have been, wow man, this is big moves. Like I'm just looking at it right now, guys, and I really hope some of you are actually taking the trade on this one and riding it into the highs, potentially some swing traders. But then if I really zoom in on the most recent price action, then this is where we had some development on the, yeah, this is basically Monday 11th. We pushed into the highs, higher low, higher high, higher low formation. So basically respecting this little guy right there. And since then we impulse into the highs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this whole range this time. It's slightly a bit different, but I don't want to be precise in markets like this, because all this market needs is a 38.2 pullback in order to continue. Okay, so this is even deep enough. Okay, but yeah, right now what we can do is we can look on the left to see if there is a potentially some areas to react from. Well, we can see that we are approaching this big range before this big sell-off. So maybe the market is going to respond from here. We're exactly inside with a lot of buying pressure. So let's see if it's actually going to respond from here. And if we do, it's going to be really nice to see a pullback towards the 50% and maybe towards this area, then have a shift and then to potentially target 85.80. Okay, so is this going to happen this week? Well, could be, because we saw that it's been just for 2 weeks. We have moved so much. So we still have so little left towards that high. So let's see how it's going to play. Okay. But guys, the Aussies are perfectly bullish. So taking shorts, it's very aggressive. If you want to take shorts, make sure to take your profits very quickly. Also drop your FIP. Make sure to be aware of the 38.2 as well, because in trending markets like this, 38.2 is often respected. And yeah, just go with the flow. But hopefully we can get some deeper pullback, both on AU and AJ, so we can at least catch one of those big trains. If you remember, in the previous weekly outlook, we spoke how the NZD is still kind of a little bit bearish. It's still not ready, but there we go. The higher time frame prevails. That weekly break of structure prevails. We had a very nice and corrective pullback. Like again, it took 2 weeks for the market to break structure. Then it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks to pull back. So this just clearly means that the momentum is to the upside. And there we go. The first bullish candle is right there. And yeah, we were against still trending down, pushed to the downside, lower low, lower high, then the market creates the market structure shift formation. There it is. And right now we're sharply impulsing into the highs. The daily range still looks pretty good. Like we're starting from here and the potential we're gonna end somewhere there. Let me take just a normal flip like this. And yeah, so basically this one was really tricky. As you can see, like it was just ranging so badly. Then we had again this big sell candle. Have a look how often this happens, guys, right? A big sell candle to break structure to the downside, to trap sellers, and then we just massively expand to the upside. Okay, so this is basically where that move has started originally. So this is where we would really love to buy, but from experience I can tell you that the market will not always pull back there. Okay, so what I want to do is to really identify the high of this range, because it's still pushing. In order to identify a high, we need for at least like 3 candles to pull back or something, because yeah, as the market is pushing down, we need 1, 2, 3 candles to pull away from that level in order to determine a low. Okay, and as you can see, we're still pushing up without a stop. So let this one create the high, then drop your range like this, and then potentially again we should be waiting for a pullback, maybe 50%, maybe somewhere right there, and then to potentially continue. What I want you to also see is read between the lines, push, slow down. This is a higher low formation on the lower time frame. Higher high, higher low, higher high. So are those opportunities that I want to take? Well, maybe on the hourly, but if the market is really reaching the highs right now, I would avoid trading from those, because basically this is also higher low, and what could happen is we can pull back and still explode. But just knowing like where the market is right now, I don't feel really good to be taking longs from there. So basically, if this one just explodes without me, I'm perfectly fine. It's not in my plan, so I don't care at all. So basically on the NZDs, it's a bit tricky situation right now, because yeah, we're just impulsing. So again, let this market create that push, let the push end, then drop your fips, then wait for your pullback, and then just jump on the train. Because if this one was a weekly higher low formation, this market is going to target this high right there for potential higher high. So we still have some time left, we still have some pips left, and of course if this is a higher low, then the market is going to target these highs as well. So let's see actually if that is going to happen, but the current outlook is bullish. We just need a pullback. Okay, so let's see on Tuesday if actually Monday is going to form a high, and then potentially Tuesday start to initiate lower, and then potentially Wednesday, Thursday and Friday we can take it higher. And yeah, as you can see, wow, this one just rocketed. Wow, this looks like Bitcoin, guys, right now. It's just broken structure to the upside. So basically, yes, this is going without a stop. And JPY pair, what can I say? We are again massively impulsing into the highs. 4-hourly time frame, wow, mad pairs. Again, guys, every time I say this, but I really hope some of you is actually riding this one to the upside or something like this. The 4-hourly again had some little interaction right here. So basically this is where the real leg started. There is a little stop right there that I just see right now, but basically again similar to NU, I want to see a high being formed. So I want to see the pullback start to initiate lower, then I can drop my range, and then just basically let's see how the market is gonna find support somewhere. And then if we start seeing new structure being built up to the upside, then we just go with the flow. Okay, because right now there is nothing much to say. The market is just impulsing, and I cannot predict where the market is gonna pull back and where it's gonna react. Okay, because trading is not about prediction, trading is about reaction. So yeah, let's see. Nothing to say on this one. Continues to carry on. I would love to see a little pullback and then to potentially go with the trend. Here is the cause of all the JPY madness. Like EUJ was consolidated since like April. Really tough price action right there. Really choppy. Not to say since July. You can see since July, like all of that choppiness, and right now it is just unleashed, right? As you can see, everything is planned. Everything is planned. Like we have this choppy price right there. It's not really choppy because on the daily, where is that thing? On the daily, we can see higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows right there, then lower highs, then the consolidation, and then we just massively impulse into the highs. But it's all stacking. It's all stacking, and right now it was released to the upside. So that is really good to see. Okay. So basically, we had a push on the daily, we had a pullback, which is really clear, and right now we have a new range being created. So basically, the range is from the low to the high. The high is still not created, to be honest. And then we have a new range also on the 4-hourly. Like again, we have the same bearish candle before a big move up. Then we had some development. So what I mean also for the NZDs is that we can have like a massive move into the highs, and then you would usually expect a 50% pullback. But what the market could do is it can pull back a little bit, start finding support, break structure. Then this is where you should start going with the trend. Okay, after this break of structure right there, you start going up, Because basically, if I give you an example right there, we drop our range, all right, high, 50%. But no, the market still broke structure to the upside, pull back, broke structure, pull back, then broke again, pull back, and then it continued to go up. So as you can see, like we had this supportive level right there, that was never broken. So also, if you want to look for reversal trades, you always need a very clear break of structure, okay? And again, so what I was doing is I had that big daily range, but we also have a full hourly range. The market started from here, impulse to there is another 50%. So of course, if I see a pullback somewhere inside this level, I'm going to be looking for a shift and for a potential break to the upside as well, right? So that is UJ. JPYs are really mad. UJ is really mad. I'm wondering what is happening in Japan. Maybe I have to do some fundamental research. But guys, yeah, keep longing this one because it's going without a stop. Where is it going to stop? Well, I have no idea. Right now, everything right here is probably going to get taken. We're already taking the majority of it. Maybe once we reach this little high right there, that is where we're going to stop, but we're far away from it. So keep going with the trend, wait for little pullbacks, and then just ride the train. Let's have a look at the GBPs starting from GU. So I want to start on the monthly time frame right there because the weekly price action is looking a little bit bearish, but if we just drop a time frame higher, then we can immediately see again that bullish shift. Remember the monthly analysis that I did a couple of weeks ago. So basically what I want to show you right now is that we had a push, a pullback. This is a new lick into the highs. If I take the high, and the market has already retraced into the 50%. So usually this is enough for the market to start making a new high. Okay, so this is just a quick monthly analysis, because if you drop to the weekly, then we're having this push, this break of structure lower, and right now it looks like a weekly lower high. Okay, so this is when you can start getting confusion between the time frames, because right now if you drop to the daily, the market is going to be bullish. Okay, and knowing this, maybe from the monthly time frame that the market has pulled back enough, we can potentially start expecting the market to trade higher. Okay, so this is possibly what I'm going to say about GU. And what I really like is that we had this supply right there. The market tapped inside, reacted, and then just broke through it. So for me, this is an invalidation of supply, meaning that currently demand is in control, and we also have a break right here of this swing lower high, right? So then basically, where is our daily leg? It starts from right there, potentially is gonna end there, sorry. And this week, basically on GU, I think we had some nice opportunities. There were some shorts from right there to be taken because, yeah, we considered the market we want it to go down. But still, you can see how from the downside, we're respecting demand, right? So we failed supply. Even here, right now, we failed full hourly supply. Right now, we failed daily supply. And this means that we're also going to fail weekly supply, which is potentially going to be something like this, okay? But yeah, basically then we just consolidated right there. There were some shorts, but the market kept maintaining the bullish structure. We impulsed into the highs, another little structure right there, and another impulse into the highs. So a lot of great long opportunities this week on GU. So I really hope you guys managed to capitalize on those. And then, as I said, we're having a kind of a new daily range, which is like this, but we also have a full hourly range. So slight confusion right there. But initially, I really wanted to see the market pull back towards this zone, which looks quite the same as the one on EU, which I really want to see a pullback into. Because currently, if I'm really clear, my major higher low is this one. Okay, it's above the 50%. It's kind of in the middle as well. So maybe we're gonna have a pullback into this one, but is it gonna make a new high? I don't know. And maybe we're gonna have this breakdown and then the potential continuation. Okay, so as you can see, my bias on GU is longs. Definitely, I'm seeing the longs right now. The 4 hour is bullish. Everything is well, not everything, but the monthly is also bullish. After this sharp move into the downside, we can see that the market is starting to break structure higher. We're failing again. 4 hourly supply, daily supply, weekly supply is possibly gonna fail, and we can have a new uptrend, because you can see we have been trending down for quite some time. So maybe it's time to trend a little bit higher, right? So this is basically my analysis on GU. Let's see how are we gonna pull back towards this level right there, and if we're gonna reverse from here. Definitely we can look for some longs right there, but if this one fails, then the market is going to create a head and shoulders formation, and then potentially what I don't like about head and shoulders is that, again, the market tends to pull back a little bit deeper and then to reverse. And what a lot of people will do is they say, okay, neckline, so I'm going to short from here, stop loss above the shoulder, and then potential lower, and then you're definitely going to get smashed. So let's see how this one is going to play. This is how I see GU, looking for a pullback right now, and potentially I would be focused on longs this week. GJ, nothing to say about this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, a week without a stop to the upside. This is definitely a beast. Already made the highs right there, and it's just trading without a stop. So basically it's a JPY pair, and you know in this analysis what I say about JPY pairs, basically I don't know what to say. This was the last, like, imagine catching a trade. This one is a very clear trade right there. Imagine catching it from here and maybe just trade it on the 4-hourly time frame. Just place your stop loss like this, 30 pips, there you go, 20R to the upside. But yes, if I just zoom in, I really don't see where is the major higher low. Like, we had some development right here, breakdown, break of structure, higher low formation, then consolidated, then pushed up, little pullback, and then again another push up. So what I see is this little slowdown of price, and then what I see is this whole range right here. So those will be two levels or zones that I'm potentially will be looking for the market to pull back into. But again, are they gonna get respected? Usually right now it's really tricky to trade in a market like this because you're not gonna get a lot of pullbacks, and you never know when actually a big weekly pullback is gonna occur. But after such a bullish candle, but you can see, let's have a look right there. Since January all the way to March, we haven't had a stop. So this has happened before, and it can happen right now as well. A couple of weeks without a stop. So let's see how it's gonna go, but definitely bullish. This also suggests that GU is gonna go bullish, so that's really good to see. So let's wait for some sort of a pullback, and then to potentially, as I say, jump on the train to the upside. Stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis. I hope we're gonna have some more price action to work with around that time. GA, let's have a look what is happening with this pair. The GBPs are exploding up. This one is still pulling back. We're tapping into a very nice weekly level right there. So it just tapped inside and it's already rejecting. If I drop on the daily, we're still pretty bearish on the daily. Like, this is a pair that I never understand. Like, it's so wicky. Look at all those wicks right there. Look at GU. It's very clear, very nice. Not that many wicks. And this one is just, I see wicks all around. And yeah, basically push, pull back, break lower. Let me focus on the 4-hourly time frame maybe for a bit. You also have to watch a lot of correlation about this one. So basically we broke the high, which created a lower low, and then this becomes our lower high, and this lower high was already faked above. What I want to see on this one is if we're tapping into a very nice reversal area on this one, what I want to see is a pullback and then a break above. Okay, so because if this one right now is a higher high, which is not yet, this one should become a strong low or higher low, and then potentially we should hold from here and make a new high. Okay, so this is basically what I want to see before I engage in any longs on GA, and possibly it's still bearish still. So let's see. I'm not a master at all on that pair, so don't listen to me when it comes to analyzing GA, but overall, just keeping in mind where is it on the weekly time frame, and potentially I'm going to be waiting for a clear reversal on the 4-hourly before I engage into any longs. So let's see how it's going to play out, this one. And Euro GBP, this is the other pair that you should not ask me about. Again, it was coming from this little level right there. Right now we're already at the lower low right here. So if I drop to the 4-hourly time frame, we are perfectly bearish. Lower lows and lower highs are being created, and the most recent lower high is this one right there. If I just make it red, there is our 4-hourly break of structure. There is our range then from the high to the low when the low is created. And what I need to see, guys, if this was a normal pair to trade, is a pullback, lower high, and a continuation lower. But most of the times you're not gonna have this on EJ because it's a pretty strange, manipulated, and a bad combination of Euro USD and GBP USD. Okay, so let's see. This is basically my analysis. This is how I would approach this market, but I know that this one does not really listen to analysis like this. So let's see how it's gonna play out. Okay, so guys, the focus is basically on GU. Which is looking pretty good. It's very smooth in its movements. It's failing right now supply. It's creating demand. So definitely I'm focusing on longs. Long either from this area or from the lower one. So stay tuned for Tuesday, where we can potentially have some fresh and nice price action to work with. Let's have a brief analysis on gold to potentially see where is this big guy headed. So we had again on the weekly time frame this push to the downside, and we have been kind of chopping around, but right now we pulled back already into this wick, which is a daily level. So basically the market right there made a lower low, we pulled back, we made a lower high, we sharply dropped to the downside, pull back, drop down, then we shifted the structure, but right now we tap into this level again and we have a very big reaction right now. So does that mean that this level is going to hold and then we're going to have new lower lows? Well, this is what we should see right now. And yeah, basically gold has been in this sort of range. Like we faked the lows a little bit, then we faked the highs, we went back into the range, chopped around, we massively impulsed into the highs right now, tapping inside this, and we're having a big reaction to the downside. Okay, so it's really hard to this instrument is really hard for me personally. I like more smooth moving pairs like EU, AU, GU as well. GU is also not that smooth, but yeah, right now, like if we just focus on the most recent structure, we're having a break above right here, and you can then say that potentially this one is a higher low formation. Okay, so what I really want to see on gold is if it's going to continue bearish right now with this overall move to the downside. So what could happen is we can have maybe a reaction from here, lower high formation, and then a break lower. What we could have is a break lower, then a pullback, lower high, and a continuation lower. Or what we could have is a new higher high. Okay, so basically I don't want to call anything right now because I don't feel confident to call longs, for example, as I did on EU or GU, because I'm really not into gold. But yeah, this is how I'm currently looking at it. It's tapping into a higher time frame supply. Right now, it's tapping into a lower time frame demand. So we should see which one is going to prevail. Okay. What I also see if I really zoom in is that we had a push, a pullback, higher low, higher high. And right now from here, we have also changed some sort of structure. So basically it's starting to look a little bit bearish. If I drop on the hourly, you can see that the pullback, the push, consolidation, and a massive breakdown lower. But right now it's tapping into this big area where I'm not sure what kind of news there were, CPI or something, but a lot of buy orders were initiated from here. So I would expect some sort of a reaction from this level. But then again, my question is this level going to make a new higher high, or is it just going to be a pullback and continuation lower? So this is the question that I want to have answered in the upcoming week. So let's see what's going to happen. And you guys, of course, let me know what are your expectations on gold. We have big optimism in the stock market and in the crypto market as well. Everything is booming, and even the JPYs are also booming. So as you can see, US 30 is starting to retrace, well, not retrace, but continue really nicely. And I'm really happy with this analysis because I've been analyzing this for a couple of times, and I start seeing the repetitive patterns of the indices. So it's really nice to see. Basically, yes, we tap into this level. We kind of wanted to withdraw from it, but then we came again. We faked the low, pullback, lower high, failure to make a new lower low, higher high, failure to make new lower low, and then we impulse into the highs. So what I told you in the previous week is that this could just be a reaction point for the market to pull back into the last demand and then to expand. And this is basically what is happening right now. And we're having some beautiful move into the highs. So that is really good to see. And of course, potentially, where is our target? Well, yeah, as always, all-time highs. Okay. So what I want to see is if we're going to have another little pullback to the downside. Basically, right now, my major zone becomes this one. Right here, this one was respected. This one is right now broken. We're having a break of structure right there. We should be having a brand new range very soon after the market starts to pull back. And basically, I would expect maybe next week. Yeah, I'm really not sure. I think this week it actually happened a little bit earlier, because usually mid-month we're having a little dip. And I do think this was actually the dip that happened from the 11th this week, basically. Because yeah, the dips were happening again, like in the week of the 15th, after the 15th. So basically, this is a week right now for a dip, but the majority of the indices are just exploding. If we have a look at NASDAQ as well, like yeah, it found the support right there. It broke structure to the highs on the daily, as I told you, the MSS formation and the retest back. So this actually retested probably, yeah, again, as I told you, the wick. So if you have a look at that, the whole wick, did it tap 50%? Not really, okay? But yeah, basically we created this pullback, and right now we're already on the move higher. So this one is gonna tap right now into a very strong supply. So let's see how it's gonna react. And I would expect a reaction to the downside, but then hopefully we can get a continuation. So what we have to see is where we can potentially buy it from. Well, we created a new higher low right there. So this is where potentially I would be looking for buys on NASDAQ. So let's see how that is gonna play out, okay? And S&P, which is my best index, I bought it from down there somewhere. and it's already very nicely on the move higher. We're currently tapping into this supply, but I can see that the supply is just, yeah, it's just invalidated. So I think it's not going to be valid at all. So I'm not going to keep it too much. But yes, basically pushing to the highs, very nice pullback. That could have been another buy, but I already bought it from here. So I thought there is no sense to buy it from there. So yeah, right now we're already on the move. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be making any investments very soon, because I made my investment. I did it in September. Yeah, I think I bought it either from here or from this week. Basically, I bought it from right there. And right now it's on the way up. So possibly, again, as I say, if we have another sharp dip right now, maybe I can stack in some more, but they're going to be from this level right there. And again, as I keep telling you, the market has dropped very nicely. We had a 6% drop, which is an absolute banger, an absolute discount for the indices. So I hope all of you guys managed to put some money in. But my expectations is our new uptrend, and potentially we can have a new pullback and then maybe start heading higher. Of course, there are a lot of speeches about crash, but when crash is starting to be spoken about, usually we're having a bullish market. So don't listen to the herd. Bitcoin, very nice. Absolutely lovely price action right here. I bought it from down there from 42K. And I sold my holdings at 57.7, but I sold half of them. And yeah, I bought half of Bitcoin right there. Well, yeah, a little bit less than half. Sold it right there. And right now I'm leaving half of the position to run into the highs. And because I don't trade this one with lots, I usually buy the physical assets. I play with lots on this one, but I don't like it too much. But yeah, basically right now it's on the move. 62, almost 63 was tapped. And basically if we just have a look at the weekly, like we had a push, we had a pullback, the market stabilized from this big range. This is the first buy right there at 30K, right there, even 28. And if this is a higher low, then potentially what the market is going to do is going to make a new higher high. Okay, so those are new expectations, which is basically new all-time highs. So of course, I'm going to be selling another majority of the position into the highs right there, because we never know when Bitcoin is going to plummet. But basically, we just keep following the ranges. The market did not give us a little pullback, so that creates a new weekly range, okay? And basically, as you can see, then the next buy will be back into 46. So I first bought it from 42. Right now, it's going to 46. It was first 32. And as you can see, the buy areas keep increasing, and the market keeps moving in a new uptrend. So it looks pretty good. There are a lot of positive news coming into crypto. But I'm giving you a little advice right there. It's not a good time to buy it right now. So if you wanted to buy it, the buy was right here, right? So if you miss this buy right there, don't try to buy it too high, because a pullback is always needed. So let's see. Basically, we can have maybe a slight pullback right there into this 4-hourly region. Or yeah, just the daily region. But I work mostly with the daily time frame on Bitcoin. So basically, I would love to see a bigger pullback on this one. But let's see how it's gonna go. Again, we cannot predict Bitcoin. We can predict it once it's actually accumulating and once it's pulling back very nicely. But right now it's in an uptrend, so we never know when that uptrend is gonna stop. Maybe we're first gonna tap 65, and then potentially we're gonna retrace. Let's see. And Ethereum, I didn't sell any of my holdings on Ethereum. If you remember, I bought this one from, I'm not sure where, from 29 somewhere, right here. And it was staying right here, but I didn't sell any. And right now we're heading higher, potentially to make a new high of this one. But of course, the all-time highs are a little bit on the left. So it's very nice to see how this daily supply failed, which is really good, of course. So that means that we have a new demand being created right now, which is basically this zone. So let's see if we're gonna take out the highs. If we tap into 4K, I'm definitely gonna take profits from there, because basically I bought it from 3, then this is 4, so that's a very nice return. And then possibly if this happens, I'm gonna be waiting for a pullback to stack up some more in 3.5K, and then to potentially see it continue higher. Okay, so this is my analysis on crypto. Indices are looking pretty good. The stock portfolio is looking as amazing. And nowadays I'm making more money from stocks and crypto rather than Forex, which is pretty strange, but of course it is what it is. All right. So guys, this is how I'm going to wrap up this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. I always love seeing your comments, and this is what keeps me pushing, so make sure to do so. And I really hope to start getting more active in terms of posting educational videos and trade setups breakdowns. So yeah, stay tuned. I have some exciting things coming for you guys, and I wish you an amazing weekend if you're watching this on the weekend, and a crushing week ahead of you.